What a save!
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. It's time for some Ori and the Blind Forest action. I'm Sigma, and joining me in this fine, super early time is Vuljan.
Hello, Sigma. How are you doing?
Oh, pretty good, you know. You'll notice that I only said good morning. Normally I do some time zone thing where it's like, oh yeah, it's afternoon in Europe, but I think this is undebatably morning.
This is canonical morning. It's 9 a.m., which of course it is everywhere for sure, for real. Should we actually talk about this match?
Probably. I think that's what we're here for.
All right. Well, I guess we have Stafoo versus Skulblaka today. Do you know anything about these runners?
They run Ori. They have PBs, as you can see. They use input methods, and they do some tricks.
Nice. That's pretty impressive. All of those things. We also have some additional details about the two runners. Stafoo saw Black Panther this morning, and he returned about 10 minutes before the run started. So that was pretty good use of time. And Skulblaka has Italian internet, which I'm told is real bad.
So would you say that these guys are a lot more awake than us, Skull being, you know, Italian, and Stafoo being enough of a morning person to have already gone and seen a movie?
Yeah, I would think that's a good bet. So it's pretty likely that we'll see them, you know, when the game starts, they'll actually play the game and you know, properly like move, like they'll hold directions, right? Whereas we would just kind of be asleep at our keyboards.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
All right, we can pretend like we're awake now. I think we'll be all right.
We did our shtick. It's good. We're good.
All right, I enjoyed that. But yeah, as you see, Stafoo is a kind of long-time runner of Ori the Blind Forest. He's got a 31:03, which is a really solid time. Skulblaka with a 37:57, also really solid time. Obviously, big difference there. So what you're hoping to see is just on both sides, both runners are going to put on a good show. If Stafoo has like a mountain of spaghetti, Skulblaka could probably you know, make some inroads here. But really, hopefully, we'll be seeing both runners make a good performance for their best time for the tiebreaker going into the bracket stage.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for here. I would not really expect an upset in this race. We sometimes want to, you know, play it off like, oh, anything can happen, but Stafoo is crazy good, and I don't think he's going to have too much trouble with this match.
Well, we're going to get started here momentarily. We're just waiting for the runners to click their buttons here. Saw the very large mouse cursor float over Skulblaka's window, but we should be getting going pretty soon.
Yeah, those large mouse cursors, you'll see if you're running at a lower resolution for Ori, just to make the game run smoother, so it doesn't make much of a difference, but it's kind of funny to see.
Well, here we go. We're going to be off on our way to Spirit Flame down in the bottom left corner of the Sunken Glades. It's, of course, one of the most difficult sections of the run. The Glades in general, not this particular 1 minute.
Oh no!
Pretty straightforward.
Skull actually took an extra hop there, jumping over towards the 15. I think that was just it can be tricky to drop down through platforms sometimes. You actually can't press down and jump to drop down through a platform at the same time. You have to be holding down for at least one frame. That's 1/60th of a second before you drop. So losing one jump there, kind of.
I wonder if that counts as a like a commentator's curse. In any case, it doesn't make any serious difference. Skull manages to pretty much get to the Spirit Flame at the same time as Stafoo, so they'll both be picking up their first of the 11 skills on the skill wheel. You can see below the stream. Below the screens. You can also follow along there to tell who's in the lead and who's behind. You see the both runners dealing with these Frankies in different ways. Skull doing some cool little backflips there, and pacing those shots out as Stafoo makes quick work of them with the scroll wheel shooting.
Yeah, that was a pretty clean Frankie fight from stavoo there, and getting the jump over this ground spore. Skull just slightly missing it, but nothing too major from here. Oh, but then stavoo messes up with the slimes, trying to kill it to get over it faster, but instead gets the experience. It's stopped up by the pickup animation for a second.
Yeah, Skulblaka having the same thing on the jump pad there coming out, which is always a really annoying one. You gotta take an extra jump to get off that thing. But they're both coming over here and collecting a couple XP and taking out that slime there just to get them out of the way. And they're going to be setting up their ghost door, making sure they have low HP so they can take a quick intentional death coming over here.
Yeah, stavoo had some bad luck and got a health drop. And then had some kind of good luck, got hit in mid-air by one of the spines, but not knocked down. So he's going to use the fish to die there. I'm not sure what's... Oh, good catch from Skull there. The save didn't quite go off. Realizing that quickly and managing to save again. Looks like it messed up with the ghost door a little bit, but remember, we saw at least once last tournament where somebody dropped into the water without a save and had to go back to the end of the Frankie fight.
Yeah, that is not a good time. You do not want to take that death early on the wall jump segment. And so both runners able to make it through. No deaths so far. They're both taking the 4th health. They're both going to make their way over this towards this map monument thing. Majigger.
Yeah, that one.
The thing, yeah. And of course, we're still collecting XP. You see stavoo brought up his user interface, so he's just counting his XP like actively. He's going to jump down here with 1 HP, which is always a little terrifying, but this flower gives you a quick refill. It looks like he was good to not level up on the way down, so he'll get it on the way back up. Skull.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think Skull's experience is quite low. Oh, taking... Oh, no!
Oh.
Missing the flower there and getting beaten up by that slime. That is rough. That's a pretty costly death that sets you back all the way to the ghost door.
Yeah, that definitely counts as a commentator curse. I shouldn't have even been talking about wall jump deaths, but Skull will make her way back again, and hopefully, the ghost door save at least making this segment better than it used to be. A death there used to send you way, way further back, but she'll make her way back down again, try to avoid that situation a second time. stavoo is making his way back up. You see him collect his level up on the way, and he'll blow up all of those brambles or spores in his way to have a nice quick trip up this vertical column here.
I was thinking that Skull perhaps accidentally missed the roof flower on the way down to the third keystone there, rather. But she missed it both times, so I'm thinking perhaps it's an intentional routing. Maybe her experience is a little high. We'll have to see. But we'll have to see how the level up goes on her way out of wall jump as stavoo's hopping over towards Blackroot.
Yep, we're going to be enjoying the lovely sights, wealth of dark and lovely sights of Blackroot Burrows momentarily. stavoo will set up his save anywhere glitch coming from this spirit well, and we'll also see him pick up this XP. So this means he's going to be doing the genocide route, which we know that he does. Slime genocide in particular in Blackroot Burrows. He'll be making use of a lot of kills of these slimes to pick up XP to cover another level up he needs. And Skulblaka did make it successfully to wall jump as stavoo is doing that save anywhere glitch.
Yeah, so a funny story about this experience route that stavoo's doing right now, I believe we heard this in his interview after his race yesterday, is that he hadn't been running Ori for a while. He started learning it for the tournament, and he came back and was looking up to get to the updated strats or whatever, and right when he came back, having a little bit of trouble with some jumps down there, but right when he came back, he saw the video of this, and he was like, oh, this is the new route now. Everybody's doing this, but it's actually not that popular. So, yeah, he adopted it, and then, stuck with it, because once you go to this route, you just can't go back. But I don't think that he's going to be able to make the laser cycle here, because he had too much trouble bending his jump around one of those platforms. So he will be dropping a platform cycle, but it's not a big deal. As long as he doesn't die to the lasers and recognizes that he's on an off cycle, it's okay.
Theoretically, it would be possible to do a save and reload here, similar to other routes, right? It presumably you wouldn't overall save time using this route and doing a save and missing a cycle, but overall you might lose less time, I guess, for missing a cycle.
Yeah, you're right. You could do a reload and maybe have cut a second or 2 seconds off of what happened there, but just opting to go through it normally. Once you've made mistakes, it's kind of hard to predict, like, how off is this cycle? Is it really worth it to reload? But we see now stavoo getting through the top part okay. We'll be on to the dash room shortly. And and Skull's entering Blackroot.
That's right. As she came into the area, she used her mouse to draw on screen a little bit, and if you're able to interpret those mouse movements, sometimes you're able to get fun messages from our runners. In her case, I maybe can't transcribe what she said. I think she's a little bit tilted about having taken that wall jump death.
Yeah, that's how it goes. It's really rough. The early game deaths in Ori, you know, when you're just running on your own, are basically gonna mean a reset. But when you're running in a race setting, you have to keep going, and those time losses are really painful, and they stick with you for the entire run. Skull had a little bit of trouble jumping up to the 100 experience orb, so we'll have to see how her platform cycles go. I think it's still makeable in this state, but it's definitely going to be close.
Stafoo reloading for that darkness cutscene skip, just using the save anywhere again, where you, of course, store that ability menu so that you can learn ability at a particular time to level up and automatically save the game, allowing you to skip some cutscenes. And now he acquires the dash skill, which, as you see, letting us go very fast, as always. And he still has a few more slimes to kill.
Yeah, it looks like his experience was a bit low. I think he missed one of the slimes, cutting the lantern slime short, trying to make up some time on the way out, or the way to dash, rather. So he gets his experience, so now he'll be set up for Frankie Walk. And the Skull, by the way, did make the good cycle. So those kind of flubs up to the 100 didn't cost any time, and was good enough elsewhere to make, you know, the same platforms you'd get anyway, so that's always nice.
Stafoo cutting our good friend, what do people call this Frankie? Billy?
I think it's Billy. I don't know
All right.
why, but I'll go with it.
So, yeah, sounds good. So he's taking Billy for a walk. Snow is finishing up the darkness room, but focus your eyes on the left side. Stafoo gonna go for this door here. Shouldn't have much of a problem. He does have magnet. Collects the XP, gets his level up. He's fine, but now he needs to take a little bit of a swim.
Yep, doing a short dash glide there, so intentionally not dunking Frankie, he'll just dash under it. No problem for Stafoo. And we're gonna see a death glide here. This is a precise dash glide to get over that edge, and he does it just perfectly.
Meanwhile, Skulblaka able to get the darkness cutscene skip, and it looked good, and it is good. So she'll collect dash now, and she'll be along the way for her Frankie walk as well.
Now let's take a look at Stafoo on the left. He's about to go for Grotto Cycle. This is a very tight series of inputs to get through these crushers one cycle early. I was just going to say, we've had a really rough success rate with this in the tournament. This trick is super difficult. I think this is actually the single hardest series of inputs to get in the game, in my opinion anyways.
It certainly could be, and the runners in the tournament, you know, and even the top runners outside the tournament really proving that, yeah, it kind of is. But fortunately, it's only an 8-second time cost. Stafoo taking the intentional death there, of course, for his ghost door, dying to make sure that that door despawns after he's placed the keys to open it. And, oh, God. Well, fortunately, that's not that costly of a death, the one with the defender Frankie right before double jump. If you miss this dash glide input, he's ready, and he's willing to take you out.
He'll get you. Stafoo having a nice quick menu there. He's going to try to head out of double jump blind here, so he has to jump over this pit, and then jump over some poison water. I don't see any damage inputs, so it looks like everything's okay, and we'll see how far he made it up the wall. Very high. Great blind movement from Stafoo.
Now, Skulblaka actually did the magnetless Frankie walk, and she pulled it off very well, just waiting one extra jump with the Frankie before killing him so that she could collect the XP without having the magnets ability. And now she's making her way through the Death Gauntlet very quickly. No problems here. Just needs to avoid getting one framed from by that Crusher, and she does once.
Nice job, you know, recovering on that Crusher there. Meanwhile, Stafoo went past Grotto Skip. I gotta assume that just happened first try.
First try, yep.
Yeah. Also gotta point out that Skull does have Magnet. You're a little bit crazy there. Not enough coffee.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Dude. I don't know, dude.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Alright, so Stafoo making short work of the grotto walls here. This section, people always like to say, is notorious for just losing you seconds here and there as you slip up climbing these walls. It's a lot harder than it looks because the walls are all, you know, rough and uneven, and your rhythm of jumping changes a little bit as you go up, but Stafoo's doing it very nicely here.
This section, of course, very notorious for huge amounts of time loss from seemingly nothing. You don't tend to die that much here. Of course, newer runners you can find almost anywhere to die, but you do tend to just constantly lose time to like, oops, I flubbed a wall jump because I'm falling all the way to the bottom of this section here. But Skulblaka coming into double jump, not seeing the blind movement out of her. She's just opting to keep the camera where it is so that she can make an easy way out of here. And qqstafoo collecting his XP and another somewhat timed level up, right?
Yeah, that one's kind of a relic of older routes where it was convenient to level there to get the experience from the frog at the lower ground there, plus it gets them out of the way. And now it doesn't really matter whether you leveled there or not, but it's just still the fastest set of experience causes you to level there, so what the heck, why not? Let's take a look over on the right. Skull's coming up to her grotto skip attempts. This jump is very tricky, and she gets it first try, so nice job.
Yeah, she's making a lot of the movements look pretty consistent for her. Really, the deficit has mostly just been that early death and, you know, a slight difference from qqstafoo's, you know, greater optimization, but otherwise Skull is playing really well today so far.
Yeah, both of our runners putting on a pretty good show. Those early deaths are just really painful. You hate to see them, but they do happen.
All right, Ginso tree for qqstafoo. Just like the previous segment, there's a lot of climbing here, a lot of wall jumps, which of course are very easy to lose time on. This enjoyable room with these platforms and having to cross back and forth and dodge these Geemers named after the Super Metroid enemies, but fortunately, qqstafoo handling it with ease.
qqstafoo's movement was actually spectacular through that room. He nearly had the fast Geemer cycle and was able to dash over the one on the top right, but he opted to just jump because it's a bit safer. But he beat that thing to the platform by a fair bit. It was really cool.
Meanwhile, we have Skull collecting the Grotto Teleporter, which we'll make use of just a little bit, actually. We'll be seeing that in a couple minutes on qqstafoo's screen. And she's going to continue her way up out of Grotto and follow along to the Ginso tree.
Alright, so qqstafoo wrapping up this last little auto-scrolly bit of the puzzle room as he goes into the mini-boss. It is possible to four-cycle this mini-boss, but I don't believe we've seen one in the tournament, and I bet we probably won't because it's incredibly difficult. He's getting a lot of nice volleys off, though. I think this is actually still four-cycle possible. I'm pretty sure he got 10 hits the first 2 cycles, but it looked only like 9 on the third, so...
Yeah,
he was one shot off. Oh
wow.
My gosh.
So that requires both really exceptional timing on the inputs. You basically have to have the scroll wheel shooting for that. And it also requires pretty fortunate spawning by the mini-boss, which he did get. The mini-boss's spawns all very close to the center, and he was able to anticipate all of them as well. So really specific set of circumstances required to pull that off, and he very nearly did it in a race.
Man, qqstafoo's in some trouble now, though. Okay, he recovered that. That was scary.
Having a little bit of trouble with his HP count for that ghost orb, but he manages to get it. Probably saving a second, and he's collecting Bash as Skull is entering the tree.
You know, that's exactly the kind of thing that would happen to you when you're on a Bash split where you almost got a 4-cycle mini-boss. You're like, yes, I'm gonna gold, and then it's like, oh, I didn't pick up the stone, what do I do?
Alright, an interesting setup for this, that puzzle room. A lot of runners these days will just bash the bottom projectile one time. qqstafoo going with a slightly different version of that. And now we're going for some key dupe action.
Yeah, so what qqstafoo's going to try to do here, he's going to try to grab 3 keys and then die next to the door. He'll probably just try to fall directly into spikes, looks good, and there's a key dupe. So he has those keys now, and that silly worm despawning and losing time. Ugh, shake my head at that. Now he's going to go grab all of the keys, and this will just make sure that he can do the swamp section without having to go swimming.
Meanwhile, Skulblaka managed to make it through the first section of Ginso here. Took a little bit of damage in that teleporter room, but was able to avoid taking another hit. But will probably be at 2 HP going to this mini-boss, so she'll have to be just a little bit careful. Usually you get a free hit in that boss, but in her case she'll just need to not take anything.
Yeah, one option would have been to just place a save in the puzzle room there, but, you know, normally you don't get hit. The mini-boss will usually not hit people, so she's probably not too worried. Just gotta be careful to make sure the shots don't hit her directly. And nasty bottom right spawn.
Yeah, and when those things leave those little brambles, spiky parts.
Thingamabobs, yeah.
Yeah, when they leave those behind, those can get real annoying. But Skull's just plinking her way through this fight. Stafoo is going to rekindle a save here to skip another cutscene. That's a pretty commonly used method of cutscene skips that we don't often draw attention to, where you simply drop a save, go into the cutscene trigger, and rekindle it. Doesn't work for all of them. It does for this one. Saves about 1 second and forces you to do a bunch of blind movement. And here he is, this cool setup, using a number of double bashes to get his frog in position for this early swamp entry.
Yeah, he doesn't want to deal with the platforms in the water, so he'll just keep the frog up all the time. And that was a very clean, very fast swamp entry from Stafoo here, so he's making really nice work out of this first half of the game so far. Going for hyperspeed on this door, you'll see him go flying if he got it, and I think he did. Yes, very nice.
I'm sorry, but very clean, unlike his water, which he just took a
oh, oh god!
What?
Oh god!
What? Wait, what? Is that a strat?
Those spikes must only do one. I did not know that.
Sigma, I'm gonna ask you the question now. Is that faster?
It's not, but if you do go into the water, it definitely is. Wait,
boy.
maybe okay, maybe he was at full health. Those spikes must do two. There's no way that they would only do one over there. I've never seen that though. I've never seen anybody intentionally run up those spikes. Stafoo did it with no hesitation though, so I guess he knew.
Oh my goodness. We'll have to ask him about that afterwards. Skulblaka continuing her way up the tree and is working on her key dupe as well. Again, it just needs to take a death at a specific point here, and she'll be alright. Looks like she has a good setup for it. She's going to inch her way into this little hole here, as it's very, very difficult, or sorry, very easy to accidentally walk a little too far and go out of the range of that door. So she wanted to make sure that did not happen, and she did. So she's good on the key dupe, and will continue to the mini boss and hopefully make her way to swamp entry before too long.
Yep. On the left, Stafoo did a manipulation, which looked like it was good to go grab this ability cell on the top left, but it looks like we got a little bit of an internet hiccup here, so he'll still be running along. We'll catch up with him hopefully soon. So Skull's heading into the second Ginso mini-boss. She's just got to redirect a couple shots back into the guy's face. This mini-boss is really not the smartest enemy in the game. If it were to just sit there and look at you, then you'd never be able to get out of the Ginso tree, but its tactics leave a little bit to be desired, so, you know, you do what you can.
Alright, we got a quick duplication of the screens here as well. We pulled off the glitch where we managed to achieve the same screen on both sides. One of those is not actually Stafoo, but it's fine. The right one is where you want to focus your attention. Skull will be making her way into Swamp. She takes a slightly different XP route. She picked up a different orb earlier in the redirect puzzle instead of the one here in Grotto, so she's still basically doing the same XP route that Stafoo did, just for the slightly different arrangement of pickups.
Yeah, a lot of the time experience route is basically just preference. When it comes down to timing the optimal experience, usually it's like, okay, this one is 0.15 seconds faster, so we'll take it. It's like, well, it doesn't really matter, right? So you can just take the ones you want. So Skull coming into this frog manipulation here, unfortunately dunks him into the water, so gonna head up and take the attention bath, and then give it another shot.
Actually, I like her approach here. She took kind of the approach that is the most time loss possible, which is to rekindle a save to skip that cutscene, but then also not do the blind movement. So it takes a few extra seconds, but the bonus she gets is that she doesn't have to have lasers spawn there later on, and she also doesn't have to do the blind movement. So it's pretty nice in that regard.
Yep. That shot setup looked a little low, but trying to recover it with the rebash shots not quite working. Oh, this is so close though, and this would be faster on an attempt that got it. But going back to the two bash rather setup for the shot from the ground is trying to get this frog to shoot high enough. If you're wondering why, yeah, nice job there. If you're wondering why she doesn't just bash it up again, those shots have an invisible ceiling that gets set based on Ori's height at the time the frog shoots. So you're trying to be up in the top corner right when the frog shoots. We do have Stafoo back with us now, moving into Valley. He's managed to get through the next section, grab Charge Flame, and moving on to a pretty trick-intensive part of the run here.
Yeah, there's a lot of very precise movement involved here. Tons of spikes you're going to see. Everything deals 3 damage pretty much already, and we've only got 4 health, and that's only because we went out of our way to pick up a health cell at the beginning that is technically slower. Stafoo trying to make use of that frog for a pretty cool little bit of movement there, but it didn't quite pay off. Fortunately, he's able to recover without taking any damage.
Yeah, that was a nice recovery. That's one of those tiny little optimizations that you'll see you know, runners with the much kind of lower end of times try to do. Just, you know, that bash on the frog saves maybe half a second, but you gotta go for that kind of thing.
You also got to go for Fast Stompless, which is a much bigger time save. Firing that spider shot off in a direction you couldn't even see, but it's going to hit some rocks off screen. Meanwhile, he comes to get the cell, and the shot hits the rocks, and that triggers this cutscene. So good job by Stafoo. Very clean Fast Stompless there.
Alright, so shoutouts to our stats guys. Oh, wait, that's Stafoo. What are you doing typing in the live channel? Well, he's in a cutscene, so that's okay. But when his stream went down, apparently he took some kind of bad death or something. So if we were wondering about his pace still being PBable, it's probably not now.
That is a shame. Skulblaka coming up on the Kuro cutscene skip. Very precise bash here, and she gets it. So you don't have to see a 17-second cutscene involving a large angry bird. Stafoo on Sorrow bash. These precise bash angles and good timing, he manages to get into Sorrow Pass way earlier than intended. That trick, of course, the signature trick of the speedrun. Very nice to see him pull it off that cleanly immediately.
Yep, he's tearing through Sorrow Pass here. Now, one thing that we've seen a lot is a safety save at the start of this area because these spikes do 4 damage, but Stafoo is going to skip it because it is marginally faster to do so. Now, grabbing this spooky 100 experience at the bottom, and oh no, that is a huge death!
Oh boy, yeah, that's a very rough one. Any death in Sorrow Pass, basically, up until you get to the door to charge jump, is going to do that to you. Of course, Stafoo is doing what's called the Terror Break route, so charge jump is where they'll go first with those keystones, but unfortunately, before that point, your energy management means that you pretty much cannot save, so that's a rough one.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of people make the value save at the start of that spike area, and it has saved quite a few so far, but of course, you know, runners that are trying to push their times down to like the low 30s or something like that are going to take every second they can, and since it does save time to not make that save, that's, you know, what he does. Looks like the energy is a little bit off this time, so can't save, also can't do the ghost door at this area, but he gets through okay, and that's really the most important thing.
Yeah, this little section here can be slightly spooky. Those spikes actually are the only spikes in Sorrow Pass that deal 5 damage, but fortunately he's okay, and he gets charge jump, so he'll be able to lock in his progress up to this point and go set up his Terror Break. Skulblaka is entering Valley meanwhile, and she's making pretty good progress. Haven't seen any major mistakes out of her recently. Only the Swamp entry kind of gave her a little bit of trouble for a bit, but otherwise she's been playing very solidly.
Yeah, definitely nailing some of these tricks. We'll have to keep our eyes on her as she comes up to this next section with Fast Stompless and the like. So we'll see how this goes for Stafoo. He's setting up his Terror Break. He does have to adapt a little bit here because he's going to be down, I think, at least 1 energy. I may have seen him drop an energy on the way out of charge jump, but I didn't see on the UI if it was actually gone or not, so might have to adapt his strats going into Misty a little bit, but let's go look over. While we can't see anything on the left, let's see how Skull's attempts at Fast Stompless go. Going up to set up the shot now. Let's see how the angle is. Oh, takes out the spike hit, so now at 1 health. Trying to make a save. Good jump over that shot. That was terrifying. I think that angle was good, but she didn't like it too much. This one looks a tad low to me, but you know, it may very well work. It's difficult to tell at first glance. It did
There
work.
it is. Yeah, as commentators, I'm definitely always noticing how bad we are at telling who is actually getting good angles on shots for Fast Stompless. It's pretty hard to tell. I can't even tell in my own runs.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea. I just go and I hope that the first one hits all the time, and usually it works. Sometimes I'm sad.
Alright, Stafoo has collected the Sunstone and skipped a 70-second cutscene there. He's now making his way out, and he's going to be heading to Misty Woods. Very fun area with a lot of cool movement. As you mentioned, he is at 4 energy already, now 3 from doing that downwards rocket jump. So he is going to be doing some different energy management here than what he might normally. But mostly you have usually contingency plans for that type of thing. It's pretty common to drop some energy.
Yeah, I would say there's a comfortable entrance to Misty with 4 energy, and then there's a you know, slightly faster one with 5, and then 3 is a little uncomfortable, but he managed to do it okay. He had energy for the charge dash at the top of the rocket jump, and decides as well to place a safety save, kind of saying, I really do not want to repeat that death that I took with Sorrow and Misty, so let's just play it safe. And actually stops to pick up a guaranteed energy crystal and gets a 10% energy drop from the slime, so there you go. Meanwhile, Skull getting a very nice Sorrow bash, so she's progressing along quite smoothly. We'll have to see how this Sorrow goes. Hopefully does not take a death like Stafoo did. But it's going to place a save right away, so the possibility of that is already gone.
Yep, good decision. Just make sure that you lock in that progress, basically, and you don't have any chance of getting sent all the way back down. And she's going to make her way up, going to head towards charge jump, collect that keystone. Another save there, probably going to use that on the way out for Terror Break, unless she goes for a Garster. We'll see exactly how that works. And Stafoo, meanwhile, making his way out of climb, making very good time in Misty, and will be heading through this lovely section filled with awesome movement that, now that I'm describing his really clean movement, he'll probably die. I'm definitely not trying to jinx him.
Gosh darn it, Religion. Okay, in this next stream, Stafoo actually has a strat he came up with last tournament. This stomp cancel over the spikes there is to save just a little bit of time. And he gets
that
it
crap
perfectly.
is terrifying.
It's so scary. Other people started doing it and then constantly dying. I think only Stafoo has ever been consistent at that strategy.
He's opting for one safety save here. That's a pretty good one to take after the final keystone there. Just make sure that if you die to this rocket jump or any other similar thing that you're fine. Skull is setting up the Terror Break. Got the save under the ceiling platform there and is just waiting for her latest cycle. But everything was clean on her end, so she's going to be making her way to the Sunstone cutscene skip. And if you looked over at Stafoo's side for maybe half a second, you might have seen a mini-boss briefly.
I blinked, so I don't know.
I love that there are so many different ways of just completely evaporating that mini-boss, and they all take somewhere in the range of under 2 seconds.
It's probably one of the more looked at, you know, 1.5 2-second sections of the run, because the inputs are all different. They all kill it at slightly different times, but there you have it. So Stafoo taking his way out of Misty now, and is going to go over and grab the last skill in the game, like Grenade, and then he'll be off to Horu.
And notice he has 2 energy, which should be fine, but he seemed like one of those was an accidental burn, so he may have wanted to carry a little more with him. But 2 is going to be enough. He's going to be able to make a save here to set up his both save anywhere and door lever glitch, looks like. So the door lever glitch, he takes an intentional death to make the door off to the right here that you can't even see stay open forever. And then the save anywhere is going to be to skip the old-fashioned father cutscene coming up.
Yeah, that door lever glitch is a cool little trick that we do to save, I don't know, it's not much time. It's just a couple seconds faster to go over to the teleporter that's in Blackroot rather than just tracking out to Glades. We were talking about this kind of thing the other day, and we used to just not do that, go down to Light Grenade directly, and then come back out to Glades, but it is faster to do it this way, so why not? And we might see some grenade jumps out of Stafoo. I would not be surprised. Here it comes.
Yeah, this is a super fun trick to watch. It comes by, you perch on a wall, you charge up a wall, charge jump, and then you just throw a grenade, and 1 frame later you charge jump, and it's pretty cool to watch, but also pretty challenging to do that consistently. And he's making very, very fast work of this section. Skull as well, making very fast work of the first half of Misty, and she's already into climb.
Yeah, really nice play from both players. I don't know if you were looking on the left or if you were looking on the right, but you saw some really sick movement on both sides, so that's pretty awesome. Stafoo's gonna tear his way over to Horu. We may or may not see more grenade jumps here. Grenade jumps in this section are, they do save time if you get them on the first try, but like Gulo was saying, it's a difficult input, 1 frame to do the jump, so oftentimes players will opt to skip them and just go with more consistent charge dashes. Stafoo not caring to bash those elemental shots, he's just gonna head up as fast as he can over to Horu, saving his energy as much as he can with stomp cancels and making it to the door, dumping all of his charge dash energy out. He's just gonna wait for this to open now.
So I'm going to give a quick update while we're waiting on Stafoo to watch this cutscene. Skull is 19 seconds behind her PB as of climb, and she actually missed the final grenade jump in her PB. So that'll be something to watch as Stafoo takes his first shot, door warp, doesn't quite get it. This is a frame perfect trick on the first frame you reload. Not much of a good visual cue here, really, at all. So it's a very challenging trick for all runners, pretty much.
Yeah, there's kind of different schools of thought on this trick as well. Some people try to mash door warp and will, about the time that the input's going to go, and stavoo gets it there, so good job from him. He times it, as we can see, because he didn't exit the door in a few of those attempts, and got that perfect timing after a couple tries, and he's now on to the final escape. So this is really what we wanted to see out of this race, isn't it, Fooligan? I don't want to jinx Skull, but I'm going to risk it. Good paces from both runners, PB potential for Skull. No PB potential for stavoo at this point, but he still put on a very good run. He just took a couple costly deaths, and that's how Ori will go.
Yeah, pretty much, but otherwise he's been playing very well, showing off his skill level here. The final escape, doing the same thing. He's going to charge dash through that barrier while just dropping through the air. Pretty, gutsy move, but not a problem for a runner like him. He's going to drop into this water. 4 damage is all he can take, 1 every second. He makes it through the 4-second swim, and now we're going to see a grenade jump.
Yep, so we saw one from him already. This last one, you have to be in a very precise position on this wall here, and looks like he's edged into it okay. He's going to do the inputs very quickly, but no!
I cannot believe that. That's crap. That looked like a good setup, unfortunately. It just did not work out for some reason.
Yeah. There's some weird stuff with this wall. If anybody ever wants to actually figure out what's going on here, sometimes we have this theory that maybe dashing into the wall, which he didn't do, or double jumping into the wall affects how well your grenade jump worked. So that position looked okay to me too. Maybe it was a tad on the low side, but he's gonna have to redo the final escape, and this is why the run's not over till it's over, because you have a chance of saving 35 seconds or having to do this entire minute-long segment once again.
Yep. Well, one thing that it's good to note, if you get that soft block, you see that Ori turns around in midair and starts going to the left. There's actually no input that stavoo is doing that causes that. It's just based on where he. Oh no! Oh wow! Okay.
That swim was very scary. You took 3 damage before the first fish. You can still make it through with very, very tight timing, and he managed to do it. Setting up his grenade again. This looks like a very similar position, and just works this time. So grenade jump magic.
Yeah, but once you've jumped off that wall, none of the inputs you do matter. It's just about where you're standing and on the wall and where you get the jump. Meanwhile, Skull is coming into grenade as stavoo is finishing up, and she's still on very good pace. We're going to get that update momentarily. She is 18 seconds ahead of PB pace right now.
Yeah, that was a nice Misty, so we've got to keep our eyes on Skull now. All that's going to... Oh, Skull going for a grenade jump here. Oh my gosh, is this the time for this? Yes it is!
I love it.
He got it!
I love it, and we're seeing stavoo will now finish up. He gets a final time from the official timing. It's 34 minutes and 22 seconds. GG to stavoo on the victory, and now let's turn our attention to Skull on the right.
Yeah, that one. Alright, so heading through this scary boulder part. It's going to opt to go underneath. This is the same time as going over the top, pretty much, because you have to come over and get this health cell. We used to have to do a little bit more complex movement to trick our way up the left side, because we were just heading directly to the teleporter. But now, we need that health for the final escape, so get to just, enjoy a little bit more of the Indiana Jones part.
Alright, so this is the... Oh, interesting load there for Skull. A little bit. You saw the screen kind of pause there. That was because that's so cute. That's a rando strat right there. Oh wow. The Skulblaka bringing out the knowledge that she's acquired from the Ori randomizer, and bringing out that instant bash plus grenade trick. That's really cool.
I've never seen somebody use that to cross those gaps before. Normally people will go dash glide or go for stomp cancels, but Skull perhaps a little low on energy, I think. Didn't want to spend too many charge dashes going across, so it's like, hey, let's just do a bash glide, why not? And going for one more grenade jump, and nails it, going into the horror approach, so this is really good meme from Skull. I think she's feeling it here.
Yeah, and that bodes really well for a final grenade jump, but obviously we'll wait and see. We want to, we definitely want to see no soft block there, so hopefully she'll take her time lining it up and get the good setup. We have an update that it's 36 seconds ahead of PB now as she tries door warp and gets it first try. Let's go, Skull.
My gosh, this is absolutely incredible pace from Skull right here. PBing in a tournament race with a wall jump death is absolutely mind-blowing. That's going to be so amazing. And that's going to be the best wall jump split to run against of all time. Look at the mouse movements here. This is pure excitement as we go into the final escape here. There's just one trick left. Might even, I mean, could just not grenade jump and take the PB, but you know, you could go for it and take the minute-long PB.
I think the way she's run this back since that wall jump death, she'll almost certainly go for the grenade jump. You wanna go for it all. You wanna leave it on the line. You wanna get everything that there is to get. So here we go. She's going to head over here through this little weave section to get down to her swim. We're gonna see how that goes. I believe she has collected 6 HP, so she should be fine here.
Yep, even taking only 2 damage for that first fish. Looks like it did use all of the health, so good thing she picked it up and is now heading into this final section. Let's see how this last bit goes. There's a charge jump off the wall. That's part of the grenade jump voodoo, and opting to try it once and misses it and says, okay, I'm not going to sit here and retry this. We're just going to take the completion.
Ooh, that's going to make it very close. We're going to have to see.
Yeah, I don't know offhand exactly what her PB time is, but it might be a photo finish here. Although...
Okay, yeah.
No.
Okay.
Alright, we have no idea what's going on, actually. But
yeah, no,
it's a good run nonetheless.
Yeah, this was a very solid run. It will not be a PB. We got the update from the truck, and we actually got the update from Skulblaka herself in the IRC chat for the SRL race, saying even with a G jump that wouldn't have been a PB, she claims, which she would certainly know better than us, but she did manage to pull off a really solid run back on, you know, what's really a very difficult start to deal with. That wall jump death is not fun to deal with.
Yeah, if you were, you know, not running in a race setting, you would have taken that death and just said, okay, next run. But yeah, her play overall was spectacular after that. Really nailing a lot of first try tricks and having nice movement, especially through Misty, I think. So that was awesome to see. And
seeing if we can get a hold of our Victor here today, Stafoo, to hop in and chat with us.
I see him appearing. I'll drag him in here.
Hello, Stafoo. Welcome in. Congratulations on your victory today. How was what were your overall thoughts on your performance today? There we go.
I got no big complaints, I guess. I was too hyped coming from Black Panther, I guess. So I was trying, you know, to put some of his moves into Ori, and they didn't translate exactly. So that's what I'll blame it on, I think. That and OBS crashing halfway through, and then I was like, oh gosh, I need to get OBS back up. But yeah, apart from that, I had a fun time. It was a good run. It's always fun to be playing Ori.
Yeah, so you'd say that if you were Black Panther, you could have taken that spike hit in Sora. Would have been okay.
Yeah, I think so. I would have absorbed. Oh no, spoilers. Never mind. I won't talk about it.
Good catch there. Good catch there. Whew, that was close.
Let's just say I would have absorbed the hit and returned even more powerful.
Well, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Unfortunately, in Ori, it usually just kills you.
Yeah, sends you back a minute or so, then you get to reload and try it again. Yeah, I think, trying to remember, I have such a short-term memory, I'll be honest, with my runs, that I finish them and immediately I'm like, oh, that run was pretty good. And then I immediately forget all the bad things that happened. Which I think is sometimes maybe a good thing for a runner. You can kind of just reset and then be like, oh, let's do it again. But yeah, I can't think of anything specific on like things I didn't like or things I did like. I got the early platform cycle in Misty that I love. So whenever I hit that, it makes it a good run for me, I'll be honest.
There you go. That's what I always say is you may have a dead run, but you can always redeem it by getting some sick movement in the late game. So yeah, I like to see that. So I gotta ask you about the point of the run where your stream died, and you came into the live chat and you said, my run's dead at this point. What happened to you?
Oh yeah, so I guess you guys didn't see. So it popped up on the side of my screen right as I was going. So I'm on the way to charge flame, I guess. I'm going over the spider pit, and it's the exact death I took in my PB. Actually, I just like spiked right into the spider pit, went back, then watched the Kuro cutscene, and then went back to spider pit and did it successfully.
Oh boy.
So yeah, it was something. All right, that's for sure.
All right, we are also joined by Skulblaka. Skull, congrats on your. We thought nearly PB. You said even with a grenade jump, it wouldn't have been a PB. But can you tell us, after that wall jump death, what were your, how did you feel? I have a pretty good idea. And how did you handle that for the rest of the race?
Okay, I couldn't win either way, knowing my opponent that his PB is 31 something. And I said, oh, okay, I died. No matter. Go on. Then I think, can I reset? No, I can't. Okay, let's go on.
So there was the mouse movement upon entering BRB. I saw that. So I have to imagine there was a little bit of upset over that death.
I was and I still am. But...
Okay. Fair enough. I didn't mean to poke at it, but that was just I was able to make that out, so it was kind of funny to me. I know the feeling though. I mean, you had an incredible run back after that point. Really didn't have any major issues. If I can ask about the swamp entry, you had a little problem with the projectile getting high enough, and you had a backup strat for that. That was pretty interesting. Is that normally how you back that up, or does that backup normally work for you?
Yeah, it's always happened to me that for some reason the shot isn't high enough. So I'm ready to abandon the shot, come back to the ground, and start again.
It worked out pretty well, so that was definitely pretty good strats on your part. Really impressed just overall with the run. First try Sarabash, first try Grotto Skip, most everything first try Door Warp. That was really sick. But yeah.
Yeah, I just want to echo that thought and say congratulations on that race time. Very nice running back, as Vula was saying after that wall jump death. And I'm looking forward to seeing your next round.
Thank you, Sigma, and thank you, Vula.
Well, you have anything else, Sigma?
Well, I do know that we have something else. Not just now, but coming up in an hour on Speed Gaming 2, we've got Tass Snoop playing Sikinar. And then after that, probably, I think, another 5 or 6 matches today. So there is a lot of Ori scheduled.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for all that. That is going to be all on this same channel, twitch.tv/speedgaming2. So make sure you stick around here and come on back in about 1 hour, and we will give you some more race action. And you honestly won't even be able to handle all the awesomeness we're going to throw at you today, because we're kind of mean. We're just going to throw so much awesomeness at you. You just won't even.
You won't know what hit you, man.
I finally remembered that I'm still actually really sleepy, so it's just, I'm petering out here, dude.
Alright, so unfortunately for Vuligen, I'm pretty sure he's signed up to do some kind of helping with every one of these other matches, so we're gonna let him go take a power nap. And we'll sign off for now, but we will be back with a lot more Ori today. See you guys then.
Later. Way down, so he'll get it on the way back up. Skull.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think Skull's experience is quite low. Oh, taking. Oh no!
Whoa.
Missing the
Boy.
flower there and getting beaten up by that slime. That is rough. That's a pretty costly for some poison water. I don't see any damage inputs, so it looks like everything's okay. We'll see how far he made it up the wall. Very high. Great blind movement from Stafoo.
Now, Skulblaka actually did the magnetless Frankie walk, and she pulled it off very well, just waiting one extra jump with the Frankie before killing him so that she can collect the XP without having the mag.
There or not, but it's just still the fastest set of experience causes you to level there so what the heck? Why not? Let's take a look over on the right. Skull's coming up to her grotto skip attempts. This jump is very tricky, and she gets it first try, so nice job.
Yeah, she's making a lot of the movements look pretty consistent for her. Really, the deficit has most to where you simply drop a save, go into the cutscene trigger, and rekindle it. Doesn't work for all of them. It does for this one. Saves about 1 second and forces you to do a bunch of blind movement. And here he is, this cool setup, using a number of double bashes to get his frog in position for this early swap entry.
Yeah, he doesn't going for hyperspeed on the store. You'll see him go flying if he got it, and I think he did. Yes, very nice.
I'm sorry, but very clean. Unlike his water, which he just took a
Oh, God!
What?
Oh, God!
What? Wait, what? Is that a
Those-
strat?
Those spikes must only do 1. I did not know that. This area, because these spikes do 4 damage, but Stafoo is going to skip it because it is marginally faster to do so. Now grabbing this spooky 100 experience at the bottom, and oh no! This is a huge death!
Oh boy, yeah, that's a very rough one. Any death in Sorrow Path.
Didn't like it too much. This one looks a tad low to me, but you know, it may very well work. It's difficult to tell at first glance. It did
There
work.
it is. Yeah, as commentators, I'm definitely always noticing how bad we are at telling who is actually getting.
Really faster one with 5, and then 3 is a little uncomfortable, but he managed to do it okay. He had energy for the charge dash at the top of the rocket jump, and decides as well to place a safety save, kind of saying, I really do not want to repeat that death that I took with Sorrow and Misty, so let's just play it safe.
Save under the ceiling platform there, and is just waiting for her latest cycle, but everything was clean on her end, so she's going to be making her way to the Sunstone cutscene skip. And if you looked over at Stafoo's side for maybe half a second, you might have seen a mini-boss briefly.
I blinked, so I don't know. That swim was very scary. You took 3 damage before the first fish. You can still make it through with very, very tight timing, and he managed to do it. Setting up his grenade again. This looks like a very similar position, and just works this time, so grenade jump magic.
Yeah, but once you've jumped off, 15 seconds ahead of PB pace right now.
Yeah, that was a nice Misty, so we've got to keep our eyes on Skull now. All that's gonna... Oh, Skull going for a grenade jump here. Oh my gosh, is this the time for this? Yes it is!
I love it.
He got it!
I love it, and we're seeing Stafoo will now finish up. Alright, so this is the, oh, interesting load there for Skull. A little bit, you saw the screen kind of pause there. That was because, that's
neat.
so cute. That's a rando strat right there. Oh, wow. The, Skulblaka bringing out the knowledge that she's acquired from the Ori randomizer.
Final section. Let's see how this last bit goes. There's a charge jump off the wall. That's part of the grenade jump voodoo, and opting to try it once and misses it and says, okay, I'm not going to sit here and retry this. We're just going to take the completion.
Ooh, that's going to make it very close. We're gonna...